time foul, something you don't see very often there on the main table at 4-3, and a pocketable ball as well. Yeah, that's for Hai Che Chin. Playing Joshua Filler, did trail, I think 4-0, had 1-3 on the trot. Boy, what a big mistake there. Of course, I can't talk about time fouls myself. I had a pretty big one a few years ago. It's just something you don't expect.
Yeah, just to reiterate, if you've not been with us, that the shot clock is only on the main table as it stands, so you'll hear the beeps in the background, but that's not on this table as we prepare to get this match underway.
Yeah, we had a strange one last night also at 8-7 with Feder Gorst and Thien from Vietnam not declaring the push out and then striking the cue ball. Of course, obviously playing a push out, but it must be declared, and surrendered ball in hand, only to give up a 2-9 combination to be eliminated from this field. And Feder Gorst kind of lives on to play tonight. And I believe, if I remember correctly, I think it was FSR that won that match earlier against Kyle Amarato. So we dodged, at the moment anyways, the number 1 and 2 player playing on the one-loss side to be eliminated. One of them to advance. But of course, Feder Gorst has another tough one with Kyle, another young champion from the Philippines. Nice opening break here, and very nice starter on the blue too, just inches away. The 3 open, the table open as well.
Yeah, it looks a very good chance this just to relax into the match. As I say, you're looking to start as well as you can. He twice winner with Alban Ocean for Austria of the World Cup of Pool.
Shane Wolford did get out and ties that match at 7 apiece. Pretty routine, just stay away from the rail with the cue ball. Just going to fall below it just a bit, trying to make it very natural to come off the 8 and just kind of go one rail towards the 9. You can open this up with some left spin. You can pinch draw it a little bit if you want. Combination of both is okay as well. Most likely wouldn't come across, but of course the angle may tell us that's what he wants. And he checked the ball with a little English. So there was a little more angle than we saw. Always nice to open with a break and run, huh, David?
Absolutely, just dispelling a few early nerves, which I'm sure are there. But Mario He very nicely takes it out. So 1 down, 8 to go for him. Just a reminder, the winner is into final 64 of this World Championship. I think we'll see over the next few days the pressure mounting, money going up, of course, the field starting to narrow, and they're keeping the trophy as well on the plinth in the middle of the hall. It's on a stage, just to remind everybody what it's all about. Edging closer with every win towards potentially getting your hands on that. I know as well hopes are high as we go towards the weekend of more sort of people coming in to watch as well, which will create a nice atmosphere for the players. It's going to be fascinating, isn't it, down to the final to see who takes the record first prize, $250,000.
Yeah. Huge $150,000 match that'll be in the final. That's the difference between first and second. And really, you know, Mario He, besides closing the door in some of these matches late in these big tournaments, really possesses all parts of the game. Very good tactically, big breaker of the balls, as you can see. Shot maker as well. Does have a playable 2 in the side. The 4-8 there on the bottom cushion, the pink and the black. Not sitting too well to really figure what might be another break and run. That's why he's taking a lot of time on this 2. Does he really want to play this? Is he going to have a go at the cash here, the 9 ball? Could play that with a draw stroke. I mean, pretty low percentage overall, but may have a look.
Good comeback from AJ Manas, who was down in the match with Chang Chun Lim, but he's now 8-7 up. We saw him yesterday edge John Morrow 9-8, so 8-7 to the 17-year-old on table 2.
And really just maybe a little experience on a few shots, maybe some push-out situations. I don't really think of much else that he was missing, and really loved the way he stroked the cue ball. Or stroked the cue, excuse me. Very nice through the ball, and a huge and bright future. Who knows? Could start off right here in Jeddah this week.
Yeah, and he's one of those, because of his age, you know, the word will go around. Certainly if he won that match, you know, of what he's starting to do, people will start to sit up and take notice for sure.
He may screw this back, and he's definitely going to draw the ball, but can he get back far enough to possibly play the 4-8 combo? Certainly going to get back and entertain it and make a decision from there. Definitely the 4-8's not going to be played, so I would guess a safety. That's where you have to be a little more clear-cut sometimes. If you don't feel like you're going to get there, you can maybe position the cue ball in better positions to get that safety or make it a little more playable. Now it's a hair odd. Really nice effort there. And that's the amazing thing about pool, in my opinion. Just that shot shows us is These are all strokes and little in-between shots that players will never set up in practice. You can't practice them out at all. You can't practice all of them, excuse me. It's just too immense, the pool table and all the options. But what a touch.
Yeah, not least because he's not had a lot of table time. Obviously he had the practice rack, yeah, but in terms of the match, getting the feel of this table.
He's not going to be upset with this. Well, it did leak out, so. It is some distance here, but pretty natural. 2 rails around the. Should certainly imagine he's going to attack on.
So by Alawadhi, it's only has a pretty good chance to level up at precision, but certainly.
Robbie Capito has taken an 8-7 lead and on the hill to qualify.
So this to level the match at 1 each. Yeah, Mario He played that jump shot, but as I say, really got to be precise. It wasn't left a chance. And Alawadhi makes the most of it. 1 each, race to 9, remember, for a place in the last 64. AJ Mana still 8-7 over Chang Jun Lin. They're out on table 2. That is a streaming table, so you can watch that on the Matchroom Multisport platform. Phil now 6-3 over Chen on the main table. I was saying earlier that Sanderson might not be doing his celebration. He was 6-1 down at the time. It's now 6-3. And in fact, he's just won the next one, so 6-4. So you never know. We might hear it after all.
Yeah, he's playing the man that took down Fedor Gorst so convincingly. Of course, Fedor had a lot to do with that. It didn't play his best match. Probably the lightest match I've ever seen him play, really. And it wasn't like just terrible, of course. I mean, it wasn't amateur, but he just doesn't make that many mistakes. And he definitely had 6 or 7 or so in that set. Along with his opponent, though, did play pretty solid. You know, that's what you need a lot of times. It's just a solid performance. Taking a little time, so maybe that tells me the 5 doesn't pass the 7. Otherwise, everything's fairly straightforward, and it appears to me it does, actually, but maybe not. Nice 2-rail escape there, getting into position, getting by the 6. You know, and last time they won that event, that being Mario and Albanosh in the World Cup, I think it was the last year. It was in Gibraltar, actually, and Mario was really the foundation in that win, match in, match out. Now, Alban had some highlight shots that some players and myself for sure, and I'm sure that Austrian team will never forget. But I'll tell you what, it was really some incredibly stellar play from Mario He in some tight positions and close matches that really got him that win.
Played a good rat there, didn't he? Got his opponent trapped. He played quite a good escape. He was hoping, I think, with the balls where they were, he might get the cover. He didn't. And Mario He has stepped in. 2-1. Good start this. Good match so far. Just keeping an eye on some of the close ones. Robbie Capito still 8-7. Out on table 9 over Shane Wolford. AJ Manus 8-7 over Chang John Lin. That rack's been going a while, so it must be a tense-old business on table 2.
Yeah, it seemed Chang had gotten ball in hand. Just, we're a long ways from that table, just kind of knowing the process. But now Manus back at the table, AJ. He doesn't look too unhappy about it either, so.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's a few people, as they're entitled to be, stood watching, so they're just obscuring our view slightly.
Yeah, Robbie Capito was at the table as well, trying to take down that victory over Shane Wolford. Certainly keep you updated, though.
Meanwhile, 2-1 it is to Mario He. Well, Manus has won. They're shaking hands, so that's a terrific win again. He was behind in that match. That's another close one. It was 9-8 yesterday over John Morrow, 9-7 over Chang John Lin. Remember the name. We'll be seeing more of him in this tournament.
Another great break off here. Now he's just going to figure out. I think the 3 does pass the pink in the lower left. Looks like it is probably pretty snug. And I bring that up just because the natural angle off the 2 is to come to that position on the 3 where he's pointing the cue now. Doesn't want to get much of a cut shot on that. Not only to hold position, but going towards that small, what has to be a small portion of the pocket where the 3's playable. Looks very natural, though. May end up resting near the rail. He made sure he's off the rail, but did he overhit this? That'd be a problem if he did. Now he's going away from the pink. May not even shoot at this, actually. Just because, again, a partial pocket and trying to hold the cue ball. Now he can use the 8. That's the beautiful thing, if he wants to put a little more speed on this, play this a little more conviction, he can use the 8 to hold the cue ball for position on the pink.
Well, just while he prepares himself, Capito has beaten Wolford 9-7, so the recent UK Open champion into the 64.
And I think pool, just like some other individual sports and also team sports, at times, it's a very trending kind of game, as far as, if you've been playing well, having some results. Obviously, the physical side of things are good. When you get results, you mentally get more confident. So you got to like what the reigning champion of the UK Open probably looks like moving forward in this event.
Yeah, I mean, Gary Wilson, who's played a lot of pool because he's a snooker pro, up to 18 months ago, he'd never won a snooker ranking event. He's now won 3 in that period. The biggest gap is from 0 to 1, isn't it? Once you win that first one, you've proven you can do it.
Yeah, and that's what Mario is looking for. The man at the table. Ooh, that's not going to be the one he wanted. Little bit of body movement with it, but surprising miss. And of course, the late games are the ones you win the match with, you close the door with, but the early games are the ones that really kind of set the tone on what kind of match it's going to be. And as a favorite, you got to list Mario as a favorite, that's for sure. He makes a few mistakes and leaves batter in this early without batter just taking control himself. Could come back to haunt him. strike there, one of the most difficult, really. The ball froze or near froze and just coming straight across with the cue ball from a heavy angle. I think Joshua Filler has maybe ended that match, or no?
Yeah, golden break.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
As meanwhile, Alawadhi just made the most of that unexpected miss. This could be, we kind of predicted it at the start, a close one, but yeah, Filler has prevailed there 9-3 on the main table.
And hats off to these referees. It's a tough job, and you know, I think they've come a long ways in a few days in many areas. They're in a no-win situation for the most part, right? That's just how referees, that's how that job is with those stripes. So
yeah, that's the thing with officials really in any sport. You notice them if they make a mistake, unfortunately, and we all make them.
mm-hmm.
But they're doing a grand job, as you say. Very long days, aren't they? A lot to keep on top of.
Yeah, and you know, they're obviously pool fans and probably play themselves, so they don't, you know, the but we've been working with Marcel, but it seems over much
Well, one just held up until it was held.
Yeah, that was center cut. Did he dig into it enough to where he can go forward off the 3, maybe rubbing the 8 a bit? If it got a little steep, it could have gotten a little tricky. Feel like just straight up the table. I mean, not really much to worry about. The 7 plays in the side, the brown 7. That'll be after the green 6 here in a few shots, but don't see any worries. Looks to be enough. Just broke the middle of the table and had a little chip in on the 7 in the side. Probably has to cue it with a little inside English.
So he's twice trailed. Not easy to say. It's not easy to break and run either, but that's what he's done. He's in front for the first time at 3-2. Mustafa Alnor now 7-4 over Elliot Sanderson. They're just playing in front of us here. Still a few other matches on well. Ali Al Obeidly actually played in the snooker event in Riyadh, the invitation event. He's 7-4 up on Michael Feliciano.
Yeah, he actually made it through Q school this year. I know him, of course, through some other things, and what a Qist though, right? I mean, just really pure. And
yeah, I'd still like to see. We've seen a few in the past, a sort of multi-Q, multi-discipline event, snooker, pool, maybe carom as well. See who comes out on top. We've had a few down there. Steve Davis won one many years ago.
Or they had 3 different Q sports.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Was it 3 cushion and pool and?
I think there was one that was definitely snooker. There was 8-ball and 9-ball pool and carom billiards. I mean, they're all very different games.
Yeah.
Steve won one going back probably 30 years. Quinton Han as well. The Lindrum Masters in Australia, a similar type of event. He won one.
Quinton Han. I haven't heard that name in a long time. Got to know him a bit at the World Pool Championships when we used to have it in Cardiff, and then in Chinese Taipei, I believe it was after. And boy, he was a super talented guy all kinds of ways. He was a professional motorcycle racer as well.
Yeah, you could write a book on him, I think. Quinton, bit of a character to say the least.
Yeah, he's seen a lot of life, let's say that. Don't think he's really involved in any Q sports anymore, but boy, you can tell he's hitting the center of the pocket quite often here, Batter is, and what a big miss. And what was game number 4 for Mario He on a pretty routine shot.
Yeah, that's where it turned. Just final word on Quinton Han. He played in the World Snooker Championship, of course, and he won his first round match. It was a week until his second because it's a long event. So he went home. But when I say he went home to Australia. Of course, it's played in Sheffield, England.
Yeah.
So he flew home, flew back, played his second round match, which he didn't win. But that's Quinton for you.
Yeah, we used to always wonder what hair color he was going to show up his next round with, and but I always felt like, even though you didn't see enough of him, the boys from down under always brought some talent. You know what I mean? Maybe not the most experienced players all the time, and certainly a little free-spirited as well, but most all of them. But I always felt like there was some talent there, and just a matter of not being the big fish in a little bowl per se. In the pool world, you need some experience around you to really advance. But Marco Tucher's one that, of course, originally from the Netherlands, I believe, but lives in New Zealand, and it seems like every time he comes out, he always does really well. He's won some really nice events in the States, and here he's had some big wins as well. I think he's qualified for the final 64. He's won his first 2 matches. Big win over Carlo Beato to start. The batter looks very dialed in. Very prepared for this match as a hair of an underdog. And the thing is, what people don't realize is, you can make all these favorites a little less just because of the pressure. First off, everyone's prepared. And at this stage, these are still relatively short races for these types of players and this type of quality. I mean, Tiger Woods always said 72 holes is still pretty short to really find out who the best player is that week. Of course, they'll lengthen as we go on, races to 11 after this qualification round gets completed. Both the winners and the losers, and then a final race to 15.
Well, no doubt that miss from Mario He in rack 4 has been a turning point so far, and Alawadhi looking really good here at 4-2, cutting out really all errors. Sanderson's pull one back, so 7-9 Al-Nar on table 16. And Al-Abaidli, who we're talking about, 8-4 now on the hill against Feliciano. Amir Ali 6-5 over Max Lechner. And Oscar Dominguez 4-3 over To Lian Han.
Yeah, To Lian Han, I don't know if he's the oldest player in the event, but it's close. Don't really know. I know he's older than Ralph. But To Lian Han, I tell you, he's just a grinder. Really just keeps at it with every ball.
So Alawadhi 4-2, played good stuff from 2-1 down.
Well, the Bluetooth's going to come open again, I believe. Anyways, the 8 didn't spin in front of it. The cue ball did it. I don't think so. Like he's wanting to elevate off the end rail, trying to hold the cue ball for the 3. Could roll this in, but I think it's much easier rolling it, and then you're really making yourself difficult to get from the 3 to the 4. Some separation between those. Big draw stroke coming. Well, I thought he had straight or had the other angle there, David. Pretty smart to just take the shot, especially when you're striking the ball so well. You know, you can say to yourself, and that's where you have to be that kind of coach and caddy. If you had somebody on the sideline, they're going to remind you how well you're hitting the ball and keep it simple in that spot. But that's the job you have to do yourself. And sometimes some of the hardest jobs it is not, you know, when you're striking the ball. It's really, you're really up off the cue ball. Now looking to check this with some inside, it appears. Could come with outside, kind of go at the purple. It's a little thin either way, so the cue ball's going to have a little speed. Juniors are going to get started here and have some play in the evening session. Always fun to watch.
Yeah, some of them are very junior, aren't there? There's some youngsters here looking to show what they can do.
And all very talented, I'll tell you. And also super impressed with the Saudis, the Saudi juniors. They've been incredible. Looks like he's decided to go the other way. Go at that 5 ball like I was talking about. And he's going to dress up on a bank. Now during the practice, certainly kind of warped some banks in. He liked banking at the ball. And this one looks to be pretty natural. Doesn't have to cut it much. So a decision here. Rack number 7. And I kind of like him going for it. Only thing is, the 6 doesn't pass the 7, so he's got to kind of follow the cue ball a little, maybe draw out of there. Can't just hold the ball. Pretty easy to come off the left side of the 5 and kind of bleed the cue ball down behind the 9. Not hard. You can contain the 5 behind the 6 as well. It appears, anyways. I think he's shooting. Yeah. And I love it. You know, I mean, that's what makes you great is the aggression. Position, biggest handball tournament in the world. And who's going to play to win, David, versus play not to lose?
Yeah, exactly. I just think no one's going to give you this title, are they? You've got to go out and take it.
Yeah, I thought Jason Shaw showed a lot of that today in his match, and he opened the match with a long rail bank on the 1. Watch out for the corner. This is going to be close. Think about a shot later on. Ooh, did he come off the corner? It appears he did. He doesn't seem too upset about it.
Bit close for comfort, wasn't it?
Yeah, and all that is you know how you hit the pocket with the object ball. You overcut it a little bit. The cue ball takes a hair different path. I don't think he was too upset with the stroke itself, to be honest. Didn't appear so, anyways. He's a player that shoots men with authority.
Well, he needs this for the 4th rack in a row to lead 5-2. Pulling away if it goes in. And in all the way, so he increases his lead. He nearly scratched. It was on the 8, and he's taken 5-2. Mario He, as he just takes a little break here. Quite rightly would like to see it. So even if you've got your shirt on and you've got your cue, they want to see the pass. So he's put that on, and we'll see him shortly when the match resumes.
Yeah, and is that 3 breaking runs after that clearance after the miss? So the last time he shot, he was up 2-1. Now trails 5-2.
Elliot Sanderson coming back as well, 7-6 to Al Nar. It was 6-1 in his favour. So Sanderson, as I say, on the comeback trail. Amir Ali now 7-5 over Max Lechner. 4 each, Tolian Han and Oscar Dominguez. Al Abaidley still 8-5 in his match. Yes, turning into a fascinating day. Of course, players trying to get into that 64 for straight knockout, and then the tournament really does start to accelerate. Just 3 days left after today.
Yeah, and I mean every day here is going to be important, and they're going to grow and be more important as the days go on. But I'll tell you what, you got to be impressed. It seems like the Gulf countries have really come to play here on the day of qualification into that final 64. I mean, very impressive stuff so far.
Well, both players, in fact, have left the arena, so we'll just hang on and pick up when they return. So the players are back, and Panda Alawadhi is in control at the moment. 5-2, it's 2-1 down. He's won the last 4. He's won them impressively. Can he keep the run going here? Race to 9 to get to the last 64. Well, the 1 goes down. Not quite. Can't quite see the 2. So it's going to be the push out. Gives Mario He the option of whether to play the shot or put Alawadhi back.
Guessing he's going to bank the 2 back up, and he needs a roll here, and I don't know if he got it or not. It's close. May have left that little sliver on the 2 ball, and you could see the body move as soon as he struck the cue ball. Really like the kick shot here. I think there's all kinds of action you could get. The 9 ball maybe in that lower left corner, upper left corner now where he's standing. Now if he can see a piece of the blue too, I think he's got to go that route even if he can't make it. Trying to leave something difficult for Mario. But here, watch the 9. If he hits the bottom of the 2, the 9's definitely going to move. Yeah, like that. See, got a lot of action there. May have fluked the blue. Wow, how did that stand up?
Yeah, it looked like it was sailing into the pocket, actually.
Yeah, well, harassing table, of course, with the deep shelf. Always a little tricky now. The red 3's near, so that's going to help Mario, and really should get out here. You can see the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on the bottom end. He's kind of gotten thin from nowhere here, and you know, when the pressure's on and you've made a mistake and your opponent obviously is playing great pool. This is tricky now. Good thing this ball isn't frozen. He missed, that's for sure. I don't feel that's the case here. Nice kill stroke.
Yeah, I mean, he's not got much of a look in since he missed that ball in the fourth rack.
Came over. This angle always fools you. Now he's okay. Less, this gets a little where he may have to go into the 90s to have to. Here's fairly straight, but there's, I may check it with a little writing. Okay, you can just open it up with a straight.
Well, but for light further roll of the ball, that's a 2. Just to reiterate what Jeremy said, the junior event going on here, the young guys just warming up at the moment. It's nice to see that being played in the same hall alongside the seniors.
Yeah, just really a dream come true for juniors all around the world as well. I mean, this has been a pretty constant theme at all the major events on the World 9 Bowl Tour. You got the Jason Shaw junior event there when we're in Great Britain. You got the SVB, Shane Van Boning won at the US Open. Last year we had FSRs there in Spain and so on and so forth. I think we had one in Vietnam as well. Not many matches going on still from this afternoon session of winners qualification. Of course, this evening we'll move on to, he's going to love this, we'll move on to the losers qualification, which I think these had a lot of tension and pressure. Wait for this evening.
Say Elliot Sanderson has now pulled one back 8-7 to Mustafa Alnar, so very tense times there on table 16.
Yeah, he just had a dry break. Not the best time for that, but looks to be a pretty difficult layout, even though Alnar does have a shot at the 1. I'll keep you updated. Tricky little layout here. I mean, the 7/8's covered up. The 4/9's a little tricky with the 5. You can see on the top cushion, or at least the long rail on the top of your screen. It's all about speed control. May have to play from underneath. Definitely going to have to play short side, it appears, on a ball or two. Yes, he did. See on the back of his jersey there, the nicknamed Panda. It's Mario He.
Yeah, he's hoping he's not going to be an endangered species this week. He was 5-2 down, of course, not looking good, but these matches can turn, of course. Having the break is a massive thing if you can utilise it.
Looks the speed to be pretty good and handy. I guess he fell a little straight. Maybe drawing the cue ball towards the side. Can't get much closer to the 9 with a little bit of concern. He's going with a high ball. Wow, he's really spinning it. Watch out for the speed here. Should be okay, but boy, he went a long ways with the cue ball.
Yeah, the scenic route.
Yeah, just not a shot I remember shooting very often. I probably would have just pinched it back and taken the 9 in the corner where he's standing, but of course this is Mario He and he knows what he's doing.
So he pulls one back and it is 5-4 to Alawadhi. Amir Ali has just won 9-5 against Max Lechner. That's what that little burst of applause was about. Yeah, we've got a big night tonight. We're just waiting for the full schedule in terms of who's on what table. But we'll bring all the action to you. Of course, the main table is televised, and table 1 here and table 2 available on Matchroom Multisports YouTube platform, Matchroom Pool. Check out, I'm sure you already are checking out the streams there. There's been a lot of people tuning in already, so thanks for watching wherever you are in the world. In fact, the TV table first up, 7 o'clock local time, is Imran Majid against Chris Melling, so it's all English affair. Chris Melling not too happy with his opponent earlier. Yappy thought he was taking a bit too long over his shots. Anyway, here we go, rack 10.
Yeah, I think Chris is probably a little unhappy with a few shots of his own in that match as well, and that's certainly understandable. But you know, Chris, I think if he just shored up a couple things, he wins that match. So he's just got to think positive. I'll tell you what a match we have going on right here, though. Just besides that one ball that Mario missed in the 4th game. It's been awesome pool by both players, really. Breaking the ball's great, coming with the shots. Playing at a nice rhythm and tempo as well. Big blows by both players, really.
Yeah, it's been precious few errors.
Yeah. Big stroke here with the top ball. Doesn't have to do a whole lot. He really got into it. He may fluke it. Watch the little kiss. Okay. Similar to a fluke almost from batter, and I think he just overstruck it a little bit and lost a little accuracy. I think this 2 did open up, though. Does play. I'll tell you, the shouter, Elliot Sanderson, is in position to get it hill for us.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the shouter on his shirt, so if he does win, there's only one thing he's going to do.
Yeah, we're gonna keep these headphones on is what we're gonna do. I'll tell you, I really like Elliot. Good dude, and game coming along, really. I mean, he's got a lot of talent, right? Straight shooter. Just got so much energy. He's just got to learn to settle himself down a bit at times, you know.
Yeah, there's moments certainly where you've really got to be calm. Just keep the excitement at bay. Not easy when you're in a big event like this.
Yeah, that's how the stationary sports are compared to reaction sports, and you don't worry about that. In reaction sports, they take a little more physical demand at times, but when it comes to the mental side, these are much more difficult sports, I think. Pool, golf. Uh-oh. Okay, almost lost the cue ball again, so a couple little times there for batteries giving us a little sweat. But what I appreciate about Elliott is, you know, I know a lot of Americans and other players as well, but I'm paying more attention, of course, through the years to the Americans that really didn't go through that grind of not winning tournaments and getting beat for a few years. You know, my first year on tour, I won one match in seven tournaments. And I could actually play pretty well. I was just not used to what was going on, you know, in the conditions, and could have easily said to myself, hey, I'm out here spinning my wheels and let me not do this. And, you know, I've seen a lot of players through the years that I thought if they stuck with it, they're going to have success and really enjoy what's happened. But, you know, they kind of gave up on getting beat for a little while, you know, and just appreciate any player that is going through the grind. I'm sure you've seen the same in snooker like you talked about with Gary Wilson.
Definitely, and because Gary, he actually stopped playing for a while. He became a taxi driver and entered what we call the real world, away from sport, but missed it. You know, it's in your blood. It was in his blood from a young age. Came back and, you know, really had to start from scratch again. So it's great to see him doing so well. He's not actually didn't come to this event, which is a shame, but I'm sure he's going to be playing more pool in the future.
Yeah, I think he had an invite, but
I think he got exhibitions booked in Finland. A bit of a clash.
Yeah, with Ronnie too.
With Ronnie,
so,
yeah.
I mean, you know, that maybe that's a little hard to pass up on. $1 Million purse, Ronnie O'Sullivan, you know.
It's nice to be in demand, I suppose, both ways. But yeah, we'll see him, I'm sure, going forward. But this match, real high quality, and Alawadhi 6-4, 3 away.
Yeah, he's been breaking the balls really well also, so Elliott did get out 8-8. 2 matches still going is all. I think only 2 matches still going. No, 3. I think, do I see Yanni Uski?
Yeah.
That's him in the corner.
He's 6-0 up.
Who's he playing? Oh, Fittem, yeah. Another player that has really gone through that grind as well, Yanni Uski, and, you know, has become, you know, I don't know if he's Finland's best player, but it's definitely a conversation. Oh, he's landed nicely on the blue too. Again, is the pink gettable? I don't know for sure. Those types of shots when they're grouped that 4-9 like that, I think it is. Maybe not. Maybe not. Oh, well, this tells me maybe it is, because you would have certainly stayed more in the center of the table, offering an angle to swing the cue ball one way or another. Dig on this a bit. Doesn't want to really involve the 9. Don't let that cover up the purple 5. So may get a little thin on the 5, but that's okay. Oh, caught it thick, but did slide in. Sanderson's made 3 on the break, but a real tester on the blue too. Wouldn't doubt that we get a camera on that. You never know.
Well, meanwhile, another terrific rack here. 7-4. Very, very impressive, this. It's high quality. I mean, Mario, he hasn't played badly, but he's in deep trouble now. Yes, Anderson. Hill with Al Nar. He'd been 6-1 down at one point, Elliot Sanderson.
Yeah, super thin cut shot.
And a sort of crowd has gathered, hasn't it, around that table because they recognise it's on a knife edge. Just adding to the pressure on him, all eyes on him.
Yeah, just the way he laid the cue down there. Good look at both our players. Of course, we're sweating this hill also, but appears he's going to go for the thin cut on the blue too. So he must like it. Hate to make a shot like that, David, and not come away with position. You know, with the pink 4 over there, you got to go back and forth across. And does have a bank cross corner.
Well, we're talking about Sanderson here. I know you can't see it, but we're just trying to give you a flavour of what's happening. He had a look at the shot. He walked around the table. He wiped his hands. He wiped his cue. He knows it's a massive moment. As Alawadhi breaks again here. 7-4.
Yeah. Not the connection he's been getting on the 1. Caught it a bit thin, it appeared. Now he was elevating the cue, Sanderson, so that told me maybe he was banking at the 2. We'll let you know about that one. Back in business here, Mario He, probably a push out.
This 2 for Sanderson. He's got down 4 times now to play it. Got back up again.
Yeah, it's pretty awkward. May end up pushing out. You never know. Even though he can see it. I mean, you know what I mean? Like if you don't like the safety or the cut.
Even Phil Yates has joined the crowd to watch it. That's how big it is. This rack. Bustled his way to the front.
Well, I'll tell you, the way batter is played, though, it's almost like you feel like, where do I push out to here? Can't push out to an easy safety, and I don't think he's going to get this back, whether it's some type of safety running off the right side of the 1 or trying to pocket the 1 in the upper left. Remember the 2 ball he elevated on early to keep that run going and get that lead. Ooh, didn't miss that by much. All right, so here's your chance. Nothing easy from Mario.
Well, Sanderson still hasn't played this 2. He's got down, must be 6 times now. About to play it and got up again.
And I like the safety chopping on the 2 coming behind the 4. Myself, but like I said, we'll keep you updated on that one. Tough shot here for Mario under the gun. Got to draw the cue ball, it appears. I like to be a fly on the wall of that brain and Elliot's boy. Be a fun time, I think.
There's a lot of competing voices in it, I think.
Yeah,
right
that's
now.
what I mean, yeah.
He's trying to quieten the noise.
Yeah, trying to find, you know, just one profile in there instead of all of them. But, oh, what a bank shot there. He's going to bump the 3. Is it going to develop? Yes, it is. So, just one of the most impressive matches by 2 players. You know, we've had some single performances. You know, one player that really shined. both players in this match here have been pretty on point.
At some point, Elliot Sanderson's got to play this shot. He must have been looking at it at least 2 minutes.
I think it's more like 5. To be fair, I mean, it was before they broke the balls over here. I know that, and they went through a push out. See ya. Even though he can see it, he went in and played the push out himself. And I think that's the right thing to do if you really don't like one way or another. So the only problem is your opponent gets to make the first decision. Is that enough? It's got to go a little bit. A lot of pressure on Mario here. Just the way batter's playing, you got to feel like any mistake, this match is probably over. So every ball has a lot of meaning. Usually his bread and butter here, coming back and forth though. Elliott made the right decision, it appears. His opponent took on, and I don't know if he was going for that. I think he was trying to 2-rail it behind the 8-9 maybe. I don't know, but Elliott's in prime position now.
Well, they moved this match to table 1, and it's a good decision. It's been terrific.
Yeah, really good. And definitely the hardest slot, in my opinion. The last slot, right? In this round, you're on the 1 o'clock round, but you don't play till the third match of that round on whatever particular table you're assigned to. So, and I think the main thing is you see all these different matches, so your own heart rate gets up and down, and seeing different things, and wonder what you may do in situations.
Well, what he's done there is take out the rack, so 7-5. We've been talking about this match. Elliot Sanderson must have at Al Knight 6-1 to Al Knight's Hill, and Sanderson has 4 balls to go.
And he's in perfect position as well. Can't ask for much more than this, and we'll let you know when to put those earplugs in. He's perfect now. Really confident struck there in that position. Kind of cinch that ball, get a little thinner on the 7. He's pouring them in on the break.
Two balls to go for Elliot Sanderson. He won his first match 9-8. He's now getting a cameraman to move out of his eye line. He's noticing everything. He's wiping his cue. He's fidgeting around.
Don't blame him there, though. The cameraman kind of came from nowhere, sitting down right in his view.
Well, here we go. Get ready, because he's on the 9.
I wonder if he's going to say, "Come on." That's normally his go-to shout.
That tells you he potted it.
Yeah. You could hear that all the way back in Glasgow, I think.
Terrific win, actually. As I say, he was a long way behind and kept the nerves at bay. Got the job done. Well done to him.
Yeah, I'm happy for him, really, and unfortunate for his opponent. But he's got another shot this evening. He's got to clear his mind and kind of reflect on how he played in the beginning of that match, and then, of course, what he did to Fedor Gorst in that opening round. The juniors, they don't know what to do. They can see Elliott's all amped up. They're trying to make sure they don't get accidentally hit. Elliott's going to explain everything about that push out. what he couldn't do on the clear view at the 2. But back to our match.
Well, one of the little kids actually practicing, just shouting, "Come on," back to him there.
I like going into the 8 here and slowly banking the 3 down table. Yeah, I like that. Trying to get the speed right on the 3 ball. I mean, it's kind of natural, you know, under the pressure, you feel like you can execute. All right, pretty good control. I said very good control, actually, from distance to be able to command the speed. And I did hold the cue ball nicely as well. What's he play here? This is difficult now. We'll come off the left side. Trying to bring the 3 up. He's got a lot of things the 8 can help him with. Leave on a combination just in case he doesn't get the snooker coming back down table. He's going to go into the 8, but he's so good with the cue ball it may not matter. Boy, how accurate is he at the ball in this match? I mean, there hadn't been a whole lot of safeties, to be fair. So. 3-rail kick here. You want to come underneath it. You can stop the ball if you hit it just right. Maybe slide into the 8 with the cue ball as the 3 comes down table. So he won't go for the make here, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, he'll come 3 rails underneath it. High ball, little more than medium speed. This one you usually get a pretty good feel. I came into it directly, so I think you're going to see batter go for this bank shot, especially with the 8 there, right? Hard to hang this bank from this angle. So you just come 1 rail above the 8 for position on the pink and a bit of a 2-way. Usually you're going to make it or it gets away from the pocket. Yeah, caught it a little thick and didn't get the cue ball travel he wanted either. I was about to, whoa. Didn't want to make that, I don't think anyways. What is that green 6 hanging on to, David?
Defying gravity. Yeah, a little smile between the two players actually.
Beautiful hit. Wants to avoid the point. He's going to leave a tester. Now, with the 4 there especially and the 6 hanging, you may see him go for the bank here since he can cue the bottom of the ball versus go for the cut. Maybe a bit more, you know, a bit of a bigger pocket as far as making a ball. You know, the 3 down the rail is super tough, especially under the pressure. So, no, if he's shooting a high ball, he's definitely not going for the bank. Really nice.
Well, the standard continue in this match. There is on either side. Rallying. Yeah, good stuff. High quality match. And a nice little smattering of applause for Mario He. Just 1 in it. This is a race to 9, remember, for place in the last 64 of the World Pool Championship. It all concludes on Saturday with a race to 15 to become champion, to pick up the trophy, and of course the £250,000 record first prize. Do check out, of course, Matchroom Pool website to check the schedule for upcoming tournaments. It's a packed one. We heard Emily Fraser speaking the other day about trying to stack the calendar and give the players the opportunity to choose the events they want to play in and where they want to travel to. But of course they didn't want to miss this one for obvious reasons. Mario He trailing 7-6 then.
pretty effortless there. Tell you, made that look easy. No worries at all there. I mean, I think he's got to go forward, but there's not really a bad position. Would like to get a little past the pink, just so he can naturally roll over. Or kind of, now he's got to go to the rail. Maybe a hair of inside spin. Does he have to go short side here? Which is okay as well. 6 is pretty near, so as long as you don't get straight or on the rail on the 5, should be okay.
What a spirited fight back this is from 7-4. His opponent playing brilliantly, but Mario He has stuck to his guns. And match, if anything, is getting better. It's already good stuff.
Yeah, well, it was just really 2 mistakes he made, and Batter took it full advantage. But like I said, it's just like 2 heavyweight fighters just sit in the middle, throwing blow after blow, and breaking the ball's awesome. Coming with the shots. Very rare mistakes as far as ball in hands, and just good stuff overall.
Yep, 7-7 then. Crucially, Mario He, of course, keeps the break.
Yeah, they have come away with shots after the break for the most part, but has a lot to do with how they're breaking the balls, really. Good spreads, making multiple balls at times.
Alawadhi just wiping his face down, preparing, hoping to get a shot here in this next wrap. But of course, that's the thing, the winner keeping the break. It's out of your hands. So Mario He's won the last 3 racks.
And there's going to be another look at the blue too. It's got a little angle as well. Doesn't have to do much to pull out to the middle of the table to have the red 3. So, you know, all things considered, he should grab a lead and have 4 on the spin. And Vitim Harandanaj, but we forgot about Oscar Dominguez and To Lian Han. They're still playing as well, now knotted at 6 apiece. Oscar just pocketed the 9 to tie that match. Boy, and I'm always impressed with Leon Han, I'll tell you. Of course, I know him pretty well also, and he's come to Dallas quite a few times. We have a mutual friend. He's from Singapore, a good friend of mine that lives in Dallas from Singapore, and a pool player, but actually, definitely a mentor of Aloysius Yaps, but I believe the oldest guy in the field, but he just seems to keep plugging. Made the final 32, or maybe even the final 16. I think it was 32 at the UK Open. All right, he's just got to watch falling straight here on the 6th. I mean, it's hard to do with the angle he has here, but he doesn't want to, and he made sure of it. That's the only way really the rack could become difficult if he had to shoot the 7 from the cushion. But, it looks like Mario's going to get to the hill first, or should anyways. And if you're in either one of these guys' corner, whoever goes on to win this match will qualify. But whoever loses, just got to tell them to keep their chin up. They're playing great. And just continue to do what you're doing and let the chips fall where they may. You got to believe, even with the field we have here at the World Pool Championships, if they go on to play like this in the loser's qualification, whichever player it is, odds are they're going to get in there.
Yeah, whoever loses the match would have played a lot better than several of the winners. That's just the nature, of course, of one-on-one. So Mario He has really brought his A game in the last 20 minutes or so. Oh, it just wriggled a bit, that 9. It just wriggled a bit, but it's gone in. And he is on the hill at 8-7. Yeah, as I say, a crowd has gathered around the table to enjoy what is a cracking contest. And play about half an hour away from starting in the evening session. And we'll have, well, at least 2 matches, maybe 3 to bring you on this table, depending on the pace of play. Of course, the main table is televised. Table 2 is also streamed. You can check out Matchroom Pool YouTube channel and Matchroom Multisport as well. So can he bring this home? 8-7. Again, this one wasn't clean, but it went in.
Yeah, he's got to look at the blue too, but the 3 really doesn't play, so you wouldn't figure he would go for a cross-side bank. If the 3 was open somewhere now, that may be a different story, but probably goes through the blue 2 and drops behind the pink. Could kind of draw behind the pink as well, but normally your touch isn't quite as good. Yeah, the draw is nice though. Doesn't want to make it. Doesn't want to set it over the side. Actually put it in a nasty position, really. Very difficult to kick at. Can he go 2 cushions, by the 8 to the right side rail, and then in between the 9 and the brown 7 coming at the blue 2? I think it's there. I really do. It's really a shot you should practice from all different positions, because it comes up a bit more than you'd think.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough enough, but the fact that it could be his last shot in the match makes it even tougher.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's not recognizing the 2-rail path off the right long rail, coming to the bottom cushion and then back up between, like I said, the 9 and 7. This is a big scratch angle here. Only has one good side of the 2 to hit. Oh, soft as well. Yeah, but you could see it was going to get lost in the middle, right? Okay. Now what does Mario do for the 3 ball? I think he's got to just follow past it. He's going to have to make a little bit of a shot on the 3, but you wouldn't want to draw into position here. You would always follow. So I wouldn't want to try and bump the 6 in any kind of way coming off the cushion. That's a very narrow gap. So I think it has to be follow. And like I said, just know you're going to have to make something that's a hair awkward on the red 3. Maybe even more than a hair awkward to get position on the pink. Yeah, just in that position there, a little past it. I wouldn't try to play for the side. Yeah, I would come down past for one of the upper corners. Is he going to draw this ball? I don't like coming across. It's amazing he's going to draw this ball. You always have better touch going forward than you do drawing. I always equated David to kind of like throwing a ball in front of you versus throwing a ball behind you. Yeah, you want to fall somewhat. You got right in between. Could have used another inch going forward. Now the shot he's looking at, you don't have to jack up as much as you think to get to the side rail. You're going to get a little ricochet effect playing the 3 in the side. You kind of slide one rail towards the 4 and evaluate. I'll tell you another thing that sometimes comes up in this situation is really a safety may be the right play. But since you had ball in hand on the 2, your mind says, I don't want to play safe on the 3. I just had ball in hand on the 2, so. Oh, what a hit. What a hit. You got a nice angle as well. Another big decision. Do you try to force position on the 5, or do you come for the 5-9? I think it's pretty awkward to get that comfortable position on the 5. I think he can just draw by the 8 for the combination. Maybe even go forward for the combination. Oh, speed's a little light. He may not shoot it from here. Just kind of sizing it up at the moment. Could kind of play the purple a few ways if he elected not to play the combo. I think he's probably going to attack with the combination though. Maybe stun at the 7 as well. Normally you don't want to stun on a combination, makes it a little more missable. So it may be the draw stroke.
Well, what a performance and what a match from both players. You've got to say that Alawadhi did very, very little wrong there. Mario He turned it on in style from 7-4 down, and he has run out a 9-7 winner with that final combination shot, the winning shot. So Mario He into the last 64. Congratulations to him, and we will be back in about 20 minutes for the evening session.